Hey guys, what is going on? Red Mash here, and welcome back to another discussion video. Of course, rejoined again by Superbaseball101.
Sup?
And DolphinLettuce.
What's up, you boys?
Yep, okay. So, what we got for you is an interesting discussion. Last time we kind of tested out the waters and kind of gauged how things went. You guys seem to really enjoy this kind of three-way discussion, so we're planning on kind of keeping this as, here and there with the channel, episodes popping up every so often, potentially bringing in some other guests, but, more on that maybe in the future. But today we do have an interesting video for you guys, of course, discussing about the strength of Pirates and, how they've been growing in the recent days. We've got update predictions, what we want to see, of course, or probably in the fall. We can assume that there's got to be something coming, so we're going to give our thoughts on what we think is going to show up. And then we also have some more of a bit of a fun topic here with the idea of, have we seen any kind of creative decks recently from other players or on Cards TV that we kind of want to give a shout out to, or we think are awesome, or what have we seen that's kind of intriguing us lately. So with that being said, let's get straight into this discussion. Alright, so let's talk about the Pirates. Now, we've seen, or kind of since the August update, there's been a whole lot of Pirate decks running around recently, whether it's with the Crusaders in the School Greed, or with Warlocks to create some sort of fast burn, or kind of anywhere. I mean, Pirates will generally fit in nearly every faction you put them with, but what do you guys think about sort of their strength recently and how they've kind of just surged past the Warlocks and Crusaders to become, in my opinion at least, one of the, or probably the top faction to currently play in Cards and Castles? How do you feel about that?
I guess I'll go first. I really like it. Honestly, Pirates are my favorite faction by far. They're just the power, the offensive power they have to just push the opponent and not let them respond is incredible for a single faction. And then the fact that you really only want other factions to almost to cherry pick the cards, only use a few of those cards. Might mean it's a bit too OP, but yeah.
I guess that's a good point. You definitely have or an idea there. Dolphin, what do you think about the Pirates, though?
I think that, yeah, they definitely, they went past Warlock and Crusader, which is hella good, because really, they have, burn and heal, and it's really hard to beat. The cards Pirate has, for example, Hovel. Everyone uses Hovel. I mean, it's so good.
It's one of the only two spawners.
Well, that's probably why they use it.
I don't think it's that good though. I think
it's not necessarily. I think he used Hovel as a bad example.
Yeah.
I think if you want to talk about a card everyone uses, you gotta go with the scope. You gotta go with the scope.
Oh yeah.
Or Southport Captain, that's
that too.
Here's the thing: Southport Captain isn't. I feel like it needs a small nerf, but it doesn't need an actual big nerf because it's not super duper auto include. There's Con Artist.
Yeah, there is Con Artist, but I think with people having the option of picking Southport to deal 4 damage and to have that immediate treasure rather than, oh, can I keep my Con Artist alive? I think that's what, kind of edges people towards the Captain more. If they're running Captain, they want that treasure.
That's true.
So, I mean, that's kind of what I think about that. But, what do you guys think about some of the other prominent Pirate cards, for example? Because I know there are, even though there are, a lot of Pirate cards are being used currently with cards like Voyager, Scope, Rusty Hooks even. We're starting to see a bit more of him now. What do you guys think about some of the other unused Pirate cards? And I know there's kind of a lot of them, which, not necessarily oh yeah, let's talk about how Pillage needs to be in every deck. But there are some viable options here. If we look around, we're starting to see a little bit more Maddie now. Assassin is definitely an option. You can even consider Villaroth one, because he's basically walking removal. But what do you guys feel about that?
Dolphin, want to go first?
Sure.
Yeah, so...
I'm not sure if you could call these good, but just all of the Pirates trap cards. They're like so unused, but I feel some of them have like so much potential, you know?
I feel like they need to be buffed. Vermin tunnels, you rarely get 4 rats. You'll get like 3. And even if you do get 4 rats, it's like a 3 cost 4/4.
Well, I mean, you have to remember the trap activates around the unit. I don't think people know that, but like, say if I hit barbarian onto the castle, like from the front, if they have vermin tunnels, the rats will spawn above and below my barbarian, kind of filling out the rest of the 4 rows.
No, they spawn above and below the castle.
Yeah.
I think that's dependent on where, because I just had a match actually where my opponent used
Oh,
vermin tunnels and they spawned above and below my barbarian. I kid you not.
you played it on what
No,
was it?
I didn't play it, but like my opponent did. So I mean,
Wait, your opponent played vermin tunnels
yeah, and I attacked with barbarian from the front, and it spawned
at
4
C7.
rats. That should, hold on. I gotta look. It might be if I'm looking at the same thing you are, because now you got me digging through the server here to kind of bring
I
up.
just have it memorized by now because I
Yeah,
just use it.
C7. C7.
Yeah, okay.
I attacked from C7, and it filled out A7, B7, D7, and E7.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, but then all they have to do is attack it B8 or D8, and then you automatically have only 3.
yeah, that's still true. But I guess people don't use vermin tunnels enough to kind of know that by heart.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that's kind of an interesting point there. But I mean, I'm talking more cards like Villaroth, because I mean, I like Villaroth. I'm trying to throw in like maybe one here or there in some decks as sort of experimental. And I mean, if you get scope on Villaroth, that's a 2/7 that instantly destroys any enemy that it hits. So I
Yeah,
think,
but without scope, Villaros kind of.
I mean, I guess, but you also have to consider he's 2/6. He's not going to be one of the cards that you can easily get rid of unless you got like Troll Gunner. That's
Yeah, I used to use I call it Viola. I don't know how you pronounce it or whatever, but I used to use it all the time, and it just felt like it was never worth it. Like for that 7 gold, I could put like a Minotaur and Phantom Strike or a I'm trying to Northland's Ranger, and it's just so much better than a 2/6 because the
I
offensive
guess.
potential is nothing.
All right. I mean, that's a good point.
Or hell, you can. Sorry.
No, you go ahead. It's
You can even do mercenary execution. Literally the same gold. You get treasure too, and you can still kill a unit.
I just think Vileroth is a card that's great when you're losing. Except when you're pirates, if you're losing, that's bad. The whole point of pirates is to be super offensive.
You're supposed to be winning with pirates. Come on, guys.
Yeah, you're just supposed to be really offensive.
That's a nice way of putting it. But okay, I get what you mean. I mean, that's just the creative side in me, always trying to kind of put these underused cards to work. So, but you do have a point. There are much better, more viable options for you to be running at 7 gold. So, you know, whether it be the Ranger or a Minotaur Phantom Strike combination. I can see that. But where do you guys see pirates going from here? Like, do you see them only increasing in power, or do you think that they need to be toned down a little bit to kind of put them on an even playing field? What do you guys think? You know, yeah.
I just think talking about like even this is kind of going into the next update as well. I do think that we should just be buffing the other factions because there are way too many combos with pirates. I feel like there are just a lot.
Yeah.
And I feel like they are going to be a little bit nerfed in the next update. I don't like that. The thing about pirates is there are a lot of bad cards and then a few really good cards.
Yeah.
So you just need to change that balance a bit.
Perhaps, and I do agree with you on the fact that it's better to buff other things than nerf what's currently bothering people. In any sort of game, I think buffs are always, it depends on the situation, but usually in my mind, buffs are better than nerfs because they provide more kind of insightful gameplay in the sense that, all right, let's go ahead and think about how I can use this new buff to benefit something that wasn't working before, perhaps, or create something new. So
Yeah.
I definitely agree with you on sort of the more buff aspect there. Dolphin, do you have any thoughts though?
About their future?
Yeah, or like something along those lines.
Oh yeah, I think baseball nailed it when he said that a lot of the cards are bad, and then the cards that are good, they're really good.
Hmm. Yeah,
So
that's
maybe
kinda
toning down cards like scope. That would be really nice to have toned down.
mm. I don't
Just
I don't
Yeah.
think the Cannoneer or the Troll Gunner is gonna be sort of touched on anytime soon because they just got changed. It kind of just seems weird to strip them now, but that's just my opinion.
I don't really see Cannoneer that much, honestly.
I use it. I used to use it in my decks until everyone said, "Don't use Cannoneer, use Troll Gunner instead." And then I've started to use Troll Gunner. But Cannoneer was so helpful because 6 gold is the hotspot for pirates.
Yeah, that's a fair point there. Because you definitely have a lot of different options to play in that regard. But I think with that, we've, kind of exercised a little bit of our thoughts about the Pirates. So this actually leads into a good transition for our next topic. Alright, so now talking about the potential for a new update, of course. This has been something going around for a while now, especially because of the fact that we were kind of teased last summer about new cards, but they never actually did come to fruition. We did get an update, so there wasn't really a lie about change, but I think we were expecting new material. So we're going to kind of bring this into prediction or something along those lines of what do you guys think is coming inside the new update, what would you want to see? Whether that would be balances or nerfs or new material. Personally, honestly, I think the Druid faction needs to be more complete. In my
Oh yeah.
opinion, that's just something because
Yeah.
when you look at the number of cards, it's much, much less than other factions right now. Like, I can quickly scroll through
Yeah.
the
It's like
faction, and that's because it takes me longer because I just have my shinies on. Like, honestly, I don't really see this taking up a whole lot of space, and that it needs to be fleshed out a little bit more, in my opinion. But baseball, what do you think is something that you want to see at least happen by the time we get a new update, or what are your thoughts about that?
well, I mean, I can pretty much say this in one word, just Druids. Like I totally agree with what you said. They need so many things. Like companions are needed for them because I can just see the potential of Elvish Hunter. Like I know it can be an amazing card in all meta decks, and I really want it to become that good. And I think things like Living Vines also need a bit of a buff.
Yeah,
Um,
I've been petitioning at least for Living Vines change. I
yeah,
feel like, or actually, I mean, I've seen people talk about this before too, but the survival instinct I think needs to be changed in general.
just make it happen before it deals damage. That's just
That
all it needs to do,
that kind
in
of
my
is the
opinion.
survival instinct, After being attacked, if that was an animal survival instinct in the real
Yeah,
world, we'd have a lot more dead animals, to be honest.
exactly.
Uh,
Yeah,
but I guess it might get annoying to see dealing 2 damage with Spiny before you actually hit the damn thing. Like I could see the annoying factor in that, but it would make it so much more deadly and
I
viable.
think that would be amazing. Like
No, I mean,
now,
yeah.
yeah,
It'd be
Living,
annoying, but it would work for Spiny.
living vines would have to be changed though, because healing before it's attacked is pretty useless.
I feel like
yeah.
something better for the Vines would be well, I can't really say stun because stun is for pirates, but something that keeps a unit in place, like rooted, because it's a vine. What else is it gonna do besides hold things potentially?
That could be a new card, like Root or something. I don't know. Survival Instinct, Root the enemy attacker.
I guess. I mean, survival instinct is basically half of combos, so I can
I mean,
see
rooting could be a new keyword.
Exactly. That's what I was saying. Yeah.
potentially
The,
that's
the
something
other
that could be fleshed out.
the other thing, and I was just talking about this to some other people. I'd really like to see some draw in other factions, and in Druids, I think the best way to do it is to add more cards like Call for Aid. Just adding Druid cards and adding more cards into your hand and reducing their cost, because flat out draw for Druids might be a little bit too good. Just with
Yeah.
all of their,
Mhm.
yeah.
That's an
Yeah.
interesting point. I mean, we've seen call for 8 a lot as it is already. I mean, if you're running a druid deck, most people end up throwing in at least 2 calls because of how viable they are. It's 4
Yeah.
rangers to your deck, not to mention 6 if you include all 3, which is a very good. And to have them discounted
Oh
which
yeah.
is even better.
Yeah.
Turn 10 2 Rangers. That is the gold.
But Dolphin, what do you think
Oh,
about the Druid deck though? Like, or the faction? I mean, like, what do you think? Do you agree on the same premise if there's more needs to come out of them?
Yeah, definitely. Like you said, you can just scroll through these in like 1 second.
Mm-hmm. Not to
More
mention some of them are
spells.
just bad. Yeah,
Oh yeah.
that's something I would think. Because if you scroll through,
There is a whopping total of 8 spells.
really, one, two,
for Droots?
3,
For,
4,
for druids, yeah.
5, 6. Oh yeah, there is 7, 8. Yeah, and that's the spells
Wait.
alone, which is basically at least half the faction as it is.
And 3 of them are summoning 4 of them are summoning a unit.
4 of them are trash.
That's a nice way to put it.
Just
Whoa.
gonna throw that out there.
Can I take a guess at which ones you think are trash?
Yes.
I'm gonna go with adaptive armor. Obviously, that's more.
Bingo.
Obviously, yeah. Yeah.
Now, here's where it gets tricky for me though, because we might have different opinions. Call Beast, is that one of the ones you're thinking
Of
of?
course. Yeah.
Alright, Call
Bingo.
Beast. Obviously not Call for Aid.
Oh no, that was one. Okay. That was
Forest
dead
Revolt?
dumb.
Is that?
Yep. Forest Revolt.
And then the only one I could think of is Pack.
Yep.
Really? You think Pack is
Yeah.
bad?
I
What?
think it's horrible. I think it's
Yikes.
absolutely horrible.
Really? Well,
Yeah.
that's interesting. I mean, if you're running a beast-based deck, you obviously want to throw in Pack, but I guess I can come, I see where you're coming from. If you want to throw it into a general Druid deck, it doesn't really fit.
I don't even think it's that good in a Druid deck or in a Beast deck. Like, it's good because it's like, if you added more good Beast cards, it would be thrown out of the meta in terms of Beast decks. Like, no one would use it. It's good because the problem is it's 3/2/3s. 3/2/3s. And it's just, yeah, I don't find that to be game changing enough
like,
to
what
actually use in a deck to advantage.
See, now I can kind of counter that a little bit, because if you're worried just about stats, obviously this kind of goes for the Holy Grail too, which is sort of an up in the air card at the
Oh, that's
moment.
horrible.
I mean, it is pretty bad, but essentially
At
it's the
least I
same
think so.
thing. The only reason that I consider Pack of Wolves slightly better is because the wolves end up buffing each other on death, making them
Yeah.
stronger.
It's a 2 3 3 4 and a 4 5.
And then,
Okay.
of course, that getting
So-
buffed about with your current global buffs, which I assume you are running, because most decks do run at least a blacksmith or an armory. So you think about that kind of adding up to summoning the wolves, which also will die, giving the others a boost. I see, though, why it's, maybe still not the best. 8 gold is a little expensive to summon 3 units, of course, that, aren't going to be super powerful on summon. But, like, if they reduce that cost, I could totally see Pack of Wolves fitting in beast decks at least. Maybe not Druid
Oh,
in
yeah.
general, but, like, beast decks, you gotta give them something here with Pack of Wolves.
I definitely think even if they moved it to 7, it would become really, really, really good. I just think as it is, I see someone place it, and my first thought is, well, they wasted their turn on that. It's like I'm much more scared if someone were to play like a Fenrir or a Beastmaster. Like a Beastmaster is so much better.
I guess, but if you honestly ask me which I'd rather have in the deck, Pack or Beastmaster, I'm gonna go with the Pack personally, because the Beastmaster,
Whoa.
it has a very glaring weakness of being, if I die, possibly half my board dies. In a world where if I can, my opponent's definitely gonna run Blue Fire Bolt, they'll zap it, or Defective Flame Cannon, they'll zap it, and they can clear essentially that whole turn.
Well, if your
Well,
opponent's running Warlock, you shouldn't be playing it like that then. You should be
Exactly.
playing it
Yeah, you have to
defensively.
play it well.
Exactly. But still, that's just for me. I know its rolls are pretty good. Like, if I get a Beastmaster and bring out 2 bears, I've ascended to the god levels of beast pulls. But, like, I remember when Beastmaster was the monster tamer, and we all know how bad that was. For those of you who don't or didn't remember, Beastmaster used to be that monster tamer where on combo and Last Will, I think it was, if I'm
Yeah.
not mistaken, the 8 gold Crusader slow bad boy that brings out monsters left and right, which was a
No,
mess to deal
it,
with.
it was Retaliate last will
Oh, Retaliate last well.
when that was a thing.
Yeah, when Combo and Retaliate were still different things. But yeah, I think he is better now in this form, but still, I don't like the fact that if I lose him, I might lose a good portion of my board. That's kind of just my thoughts, but that's just me. Like, maybe if
Wait, wasn't Monster Tamer really good?
Yeah.
Monster
Okay,
Tamer
I
was a
thought
big pain in the ass.
I know. I thought you were saying it wasn't. I remember people telling me that was the most OP card ever. So yeah.
No, not at all. Monster Tamer was like the bane of most players' existence back in the day. They couldn't go in a Crusader deck without seeing the Monster Tamer pop up, and they about to throw their device or punch their laptop because if like they see that, they're gonna have to deal with an army of monsters that they don't need. But I think maybe if it got the same buff as a Jira, or maybe not the same buff, but like around the same treatment, I think he might see something. Really super sure, but something maybe along the lines of an Ajira change might throw this card a bone. I don't know. What do you guys think about that? Giving it sort of like an Ajira type move where it allows you to gain beasts to your hand again at that discounted price, like Call for Aid.
Wait, so are you thinking of this as a buff or nerf?
I don't really know how one would consider it because at that point that just sounds like a rework technically. Because how can you really say? I mean, it might be a nerf considering the fact that you don't instantly summon the beasts. But then again, he might see a little bit more play because you can sack the Beastmaster before you can actually throw out your beasts. My thoughts regarding
yeah,
Beastmaster.
I can see that. I can see that. I'm not quite sure what you mean by a Najiro treatment, but I guess.
Look, if you look at Ajira now, her ability is to give. I think. Hold on, let me just look her up because.
Oh, give each player 2 monsters. Oh, so you'd give your opponent beasts as well, or
maybe that's where I'm not really sure with the Beastmaster.
No,
I don't.
I would take that part out.
I mean,
problem with. Yeah, keep going.
Oh well, I mean, honestly, if that were the case, if you want to remove that aspect of giving the opponent a beast, that kind of makes it a pretty powerful card. I mean, people could just start abusing Beast Tamer Bounce if that was the case. People kind of do at this point, but it's just not that strong because once they get rid of the Beastmaster, it's kind of just a complete, like, they're in a tough spot. But if they were able to get Beast to their hand, it'd be a much different story.
I kind of disagree with that. I think that would be... I don't think it'd be good because the beasts aren't good.
Currently, yeah, they're not. They're not super strong. I agree with you there.
So you'd be getting fairly bad beasts. Like, the only good ones are Fenrir, Bear, and I guess Gromok is kind of decent recently. Kind of.
We also have to consider the beast pool, though. Like, honestly, the beasts are restricted to a certain pool of only having Bear, Hog, Wolf, and Bear.
Oh, right, you can only get those. Right.
Just
okay.
like the monster.
So in that case, only Bear. Right.
I'd imagine if that were the case, if they were getting the same treatment as a Jira, they might flesh out the pool a little more.
Yeah.
To maybe include, that's an actually tough spot because you've got Kaijir, Manfish, Serpent Witch, and Behemothra. So my thoughts are maybe even that's not really a strong card, but Killer Rabbit is my kind of first go-to thought.
Killer's just so bad, though.
Yeah.
It's just like, I got it, I would get it, and I would just be like, why? Why did I play this card?
Yeah. Alright, well, we do have some nice points about that, but that was kind of just me. I don't know how long I kind of ranted on that. I feel like I diverged a little bit from the topic, but, I mean, interesting to see how we feel about druids and beasts overall. I mean, definitely some good thoughts there. But I want to ask you guys as well in terms of the, a new update. I mean, we all kind of are in agreement of druids needing more fleshing out. But, like, what would you want to see from other factions? You can't just disinclude those from the update. It's not going to be a druid-only update. You got to have something for the other factions. What do you guys think? And Dolphin, we'll start with you.
I mean, it could easily be a Druid only update. Let's be honest.
Oh, well, very positive there, but like this is supposed to be a prediction, Dolphin.
Okay, I'm predicting.
A Druid only update. Goodbye.
Oh yeah.
Little smooth talker. All right. What were you saying? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Probably more ninja cards too. Hopefully.
Really? Ninja.
Yeah.
Ah,
I feel like when they're used, they're only used for like one reason.
I
And
guess they're very
if that's
archetypal.
either
Is what you mean?
What?
They're very archetypal. Like if you
Yeah,
if you're
yeah,
playing,
exactly.
if you're playing ninjas, you're playing them for one purpose, and you don't really start to see like any sort of ninja good stuff cards,
Yeah, exactly.
except for like Panda maybe.
Oh yeah, Panda. That's where it's at.
Panda. Yup. Love
Or
that.
maybe-
Great stats there.
I'm
I
just
don't know.
I'm just moving my mouse all over Panda right now, kind of emphasizing how important it is.
Is Ayajitsu an auto include? I don't.
Well,
Tough to say. It depends on how good of a trap player you are. Like,
I think it's always a choice between Jitsu and if you're playing Vikings monster thing, the other trap.
Might of the Minotaur.
Might of the Minotaur, yeah. That's pretty
well,
good.
I think, well, because now, I don't think you mean like, oh yeah, let me just include. Like, I think he means to include it in like any ninja deck, which is
Yeah.
kind of hard to say, because I feel traps outside of a trap-based deck are a bit tricky to run because it requires you to play them ahead of time and kind of sacking. At least in the early portions, you're sacking a good amount of gold to get this trap on the board, and you're really hoping that it turns the game around. But even then, that's kind of a tricky thing to predict if it's going to happen.
I think Jitsu is not an clue because you have Ikenisatsu.
That, and then I'm about to say, like, you also have Magic Eater in the same gold slot, which
Yeah,
Magic Eater is.
fine. I don't think it deserves to be nerfed.
Yeah, it deserves to stay where it's at. Maybe.
I question if it should be in the Mage pool, to be honest, though.
Oh, getting that from Maddie.
That's
Oh no! Yes, it should not in any way be the Mage pool. That's a good enough nerf. Yeah, no.
yeah. Although I don't know if it just becomes a card though. Like,
I feel like
The
that's.
thing about it is, it already has insane synergy with Flux, and Flux can get you the Mage. What is it?
Arc
The
Fire.
card that deals Arcfire. Yeah, it's a very small percentage, but when it does, it's huge. Like I've won games because of that.
interesting. But I mean, yeah, I think Magic Eater is a much more viable possibility over Jitsu.
I think giving
overall,
it the
you're right.
mage.
You're-
I think
you're-
giving it the mage tag only just buffs Maddie, which is pretty needed.
Yeah, Maddie's. We need that one attack for Maddie. Because basically you just have him walk out. He summons a mage. And you basically, where do you stick him? Either the top corner or the bottom corner. That's it.
I mean, I've seen him used as a body block before, but
Yeah. I mean,
Well,
like,
if you're
it's
running Maddie, you most
technically-
likely have a bounce-based deck, so where you want to hide him? In the top or the bottom to get him into your hand?
making him a 1/1 range could be something.
Eh.
That's a little bit too good.
I feel like
I think.
he needs the attack, but he should just stay as a melee.
Yeah.
It just makes sense. So yeah, that's a little kind of interesting that you have the opinion of just more ninja cards. Because you're right, there are no kind of ninja good stuff other than maybe Panda and Magic Eater.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's
So
either
what do you-
monster, trap, or someone else.
What are you thinking about like other factions? Like I know we kind of talked about a couple things in the Pirates, but like overall, do you think there's maybe one thing that you want to see?
Number one change, Arbiter needs to be buffed. 4 cost is good.
Heal 20.
Heal 20.
There you go, yes.
No, plus 20 HP to castle, plus 20 HP.
Oh yeah,
Plus
that's where it's
20.
at.
Gotta get that. What would that be?
What do you mean?
80 HP castles,
Oh,
for real.
God.
I'm just thinking of that. That's horrible.
People complain about knocking down 20 HP, but like I can't see 80 ever being a thing. Be a big
Yeah.
yikes. Well, at least in this format anyway.
There's nothing much I really want to see. Vikings maybe could use a little bit, but I think they're fine as it is. They're kind of like Pirates, where most of their cards are trash. They just have a few really good support cards.
Siege needs to become a viable archetype.
Yes, I really want that, honestly.
And
I want to
freeze.
play that war elephant, boy. I want to play
I
this
have
war.
it in what do you call it? Uh, Rusty Hooks, and it's such a good card.
Oh yeah,
It's a game
3/5.
changer.
Plant that on the board. It's like, oh shit. Like it's pain in the ass. I agree with you there.
Yeah, there's nothing much else I really want to see in the update. Just more Jude cards, more cards in general.
Okay, yeah, that's I guess that's a fair kind of thing to put out there. And in terms of balance, we're not really sure what's going to be hit, but I mean things right now, other than maybe a few cards that we all sort of know and love, everything else seems in a pretty good place right now. But then again, you
Yeah.
guys can leave also your thoughts below, maybe on what you want to see, because maybe you have something that you want to throw out there in discussion as well. Be sure to leave it down below. We might do that for the next discussion video, kind of review what you guys think should be a part of the next update, whether you agree with us or disagree, or even put something new down. We want to hear your thoughts on that. But one more thing before we jump over into our final discussion for this episode. I do want to talk about, of course, and I've made a video on this before, and it's going to happen one day. I can promise you that. I want to just quickly touch up upon the demons, because why not? We're in an
Yes.
update
Yes.
mood. We're in a talking mood about an update. Why not talk about a few demon cards? So I'm going to bring up my demon list right now. That's a little bit of a voice crack, but we're going to ignore that for now. We've only got about 4 cards with the demon tag per se, and 2 additional cards.
Incredibly large amount of demons.
Yep. I mean, aside from the Demon Hunter and Demonic Rage, you got 4 cards: Imp, Talabos, the General, and Kargaram. What do you guys think? If and I've kind of already put my thoughts again in a video in the past about demons, but I kind of want to get some other thoughts about this. What do you guys think works for a demon fact? Like, we know that demons exist. Do you think that they will ever be fleshed out into, more of a playable deck one day? We'll start with you, Dolphin.
You mean like expanding on the archetype?
I mean, we've only got 4 cards. Like, would you ever want to see
Yeah.
it become sort of an option to make? We have greed, we have traps, we have swarm. Like, would you want to see a demon deck inside this game?
I mean, I think it would be cool to see, but looking at these cards, they're all very diverse, and I don't think you can do that.
Well, I mean, yeah. Obviously, Imp falls into Awaken, General into Last Will. Kargram and Talabos, you can argue, slightly work with each other, because Talabos you need to sacrifice, and Kargram, you need the blood.
Oh
fight.
yeah.
Like, you can argue that they already fit together in a small regard. But I feel like if we are to ever receive a demon update, I think those two, kind of those 2 cards, plus some additional others, I think will get changed potentially, because it makes sense. You want to flesh out an archetype. You want to kind of put some, as many existing possibilities potentially in that archetype, if you will. At least that's my thought.
I think you guys are looking at this the wrong way. I think I
okay.
really want to see I really want to see a demon archetype, but I don't think it should be a big archetype. I think it should be a sub archetype. So, for example, maybe you'd use a demon last will deck. So you have Arcanon, and then let's say they added like 3 or 4 more demons, Arcanon, and then those 3 more demons, and bam, now you have a sub archetype of demon that helps that last will in case you don't get that combo.
I guess.
Like dwarves.
Exactly, like dwarves or knights or something along those lines.
Okay, so not like really a full fleshed out deck, but like something along the lines of a dinosaur or dwarf based
Exactly.
sub archetype, which might make sense. I like that idea. But like, what do you guys think that their main kind of prowess would be? Like, what do you think the demons? I mean, obviously, I think we all know they're already gearing towards a more sacrifice based approach to how they play them.
Yeah.
We obviously see cards like Talabos and Kargrum that kind of have that ability. But like, do you think there'll be any more to that for a sub archetype? Because we know dwarves kind of power each other up, and so do the dinosaurs in that regard. But like, what do you think can be the quirk of demons.
Yeah, I think you said it. Sacrifice could.
But
Yeah.
like, what would that kind of gain you? I think that's kind of an important question. Like, if I sacrifice something, like I think something that this sub archetype can use is just how do I put it's like if I sacrifice something, I want more benefit in the end. So I think something big has to come out of a sacrifice, and we can kind of see that with Cargrom, although Cargrom's not really
Yeah.
the strongest of examples. I mean, honestly, if there were more sacrifice-based cards, do you think Cargrom would become more frequent? Or do you think he would become like a better like an option? Like it's
Yeah,
not
he
really
would.
viable, but like an
He would
option.
definitely. I mean, his main problem is blood price because
Yeah.
sacrificing a turn before is really annoying, and you have to like plan it out.
It's annoying. Yeah.
But
Agreed.
a good add to the whole sacrificing could be a card that buffs every time a unit is sacked, or better cards that have blood price. So then,
Just there has to be some sacrifice synergy. There's
Obviously.
gotta
Yeah.
be there's just I would like something like I'm trying to think of anything. Maybe every time you sacrifice like you draw a card or something, or even something have you guys played MTG? Or,
no.
Okay.
A
Well,
little
there's
bit, but not really all that. Uh, good to
okay.
me anyway. But anyway, what were you going?
There's pretty much this thing, I think they're called time counters, where you put them on a card every time something happens. And then you can spend them, or once it gets to a certain amount, that card is sacrificed and then something happens. So maybe there could be a building that says every time a unit is sacrificed, put a time counter on this card. When this reaches 5 time counters,
But that would be
take an
introducing
extra
a whole
turn.
new aspect to the game.
Yeah, that's
That's true.
whoa there.
I mean-
That's a little bit hard. But
Yeah, but
I'm just thinking about random
throwing out
stuff.
ideas. That's good. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I'm looking at kind of the sacrifice cards now on my list to kind of see where we're at with them. And we do have, I think, 5 options. Talabos, obviously, we talked about already, but we also have Darkfire, Grotesque, Sacrifice, as in the card itself, and then even Rakanoth, too, because that is a sacrifice.
Sacrifice needs to be buffed. Just gonna throw that out there.
Yeah, no, I agree with you there. So, but I think that was nice, though. Because I think at this point, we all been hyping up these demons, and I think they are going to come eventually, but I think discussing them is good to kind of explore the possibilities of them. I mean, if you guys
Giant
agree with
archetype when.
that. Ritual of the Moon, when?
Yeah.
We're not getting into that history lesson right now, but anyway, I think that was a good. I think that's going to be most of the video here, but a good discussion on a potential update. Definitely interested to hear again your guys' ideas in the comment section below. If you agree or disagree with our kind of update lists or predictions, let us know yours, and perhaps in the next episode we can review your suggestions and input. We definitely like to hear more from you guys, and to create some more interaction between the audience and the show itself, which is really great to see. I don't know if you guys agree with me on this.
Sure.
Yeah.
I wasn't listening.
Great, awesome.
This is
Actually,
amazing.
I would like to touch on one more thing.
What would that be?
Further update. I think it'd be really cool if Drakes weren't bad.
Oh.
For example, making Ice Drake actually good.
Oof.
Making Dragon Training. I don't think I've ever seen a Dragon Training. Not
Wait, what
once.
is dragon training?
Exactly. I've been playing this game for 8 months, and I have never seen one yet.
Wait, what? Your Drakes cost 3 less this turn. Okay, that is like. It would be good if they were actually good Drakes, but.
Exactly. And Dragon Bolt. Like, what's up with that?
Oof. All right.
That is trash.
We're calling out a lot of Dragon players right now that are going to be mad at us. But, all right. Well, if you wanted to comment on Dragons, talk to Dolphin about that. Leave a comment for him, not us.
I'll respond. Trust me.
Oh, he will. He will.
I
Anyway,
will too.
with that being said, guys, let's go ahead and hop into our kind of final topic of this discussion.
Good.
All right, and so for our final topic, we will be discussing, of course, some of our underused cards or decks that we kind of, have an idea that maybe have a chance to be in that maybe viable area, but maybe they're just lacking something at this point, or kind of just throwing out some fun deck ideas. So, Dolphin, what do you? We're gonna start with you this time. What do you think is a fun deck idea that has emerged or would like to see emerge?
This actually has kind of emerged a little, and I would say it's very fun. Cargrom, get
Going
that
back to
good
demons.
sacrifice blood price in there,
What the hell
and then
is this?
I've made a deck where I use Cargrom with Viking, Thrill of Victory, and I'm only fighting bots, so it's pretty easy. But so far, it's going pretty well.
Oh, that's not the motivation we all need.
Yeah.
Guys, I
I mean,
fight
you can.
bots, dude. I really alright. Well, alright. Interesting idea of bringing it back to demons a little bit with the Kargaram. Definitely would like to see more of him. I can see that. I mean, I've been working with a lot of Druid decks lately myself, and ever since we kind of talked about it in that last discussion, I've had the idea of Last Will in Druids.
Ooh, yeah.
Ooh.
And I'm kind of experimenting with it right now. I got this deck list, but I'm not going to show it to you guys just yet. I'll wait for a video, or a separate video to do that one. But something that I've kind of been looking into, and I think it's viable with how Andrew is in the neutral zone, and a couple of Druid good cards like Call for Aid, excuse me, and Fenrir. I mean, put those together, and
Yeah.
a couple of other cards, and boom, you've got yourself an interesting Last Will deck.
Those are both literally not Last Will at all.
Well, they don't have to be in for the Last Will. They have to be in there to kind of support the deck overall. Because
Yeah,
Last
just
Will
kinda
alone
good
is
stuff.
not going to win the game unless you're running the
True.
Crusaders.
What is your other combo rather than Druid?
What do you mean? Oh,
I mean,
the faction choice.
yeah.
Oh, I got Warlocks right now.
Ah.
Mm.
I bet Pack of Wolves is real nice in that.
Oh yeah, it is. It is. I like it a
Yeah,
lot.
banana. Or not? You're not
What?
Wow.
Yes.
baseball.
Oof.
Super
Alright.
equals banana.
That
Boy.
shows
I'm
how
happy.
on top of this discussion we really are.
Yep.
Excuse me. All right, baseball. Do you have any decks you want to kind of close this out with? I mean, it's kind of a shorter discussion, but we actually have spent most of the time on the update, which is a good thing about this video. But we're kind of closing out with kind of a fun sort of cliffhanger-ish. I don't even know if it's cliffhanger, but what you got any deck ideas? Is what I'm trying to say.
I don't know. I think Dragon Lore is a cool card. I've always thought it was super interesting, just because like it can create like at its best. It's the best combo in the game at its best. Turn 1 Dragon Lore, turn 2 Dragon Lores, turn 3 Drameth. Like that'll never happen, but that's the
Oh,
best
yeah.
combo in the game you can.
4-card combo. Let's go.
Hidden combos. Next video. That's interesting though. I've always thought like Dragon Lord could be also, and I've seen this before in the Discord as well. But pairing it with Rakanoth in the deck too could be something else.
Yeah.
Because you have to remember Rakanoth is also not just an undead too. It's oh, that's a neutral.
It's Drake.
It's dragon actually.
It's not. Is it?
Sacrifice an undead or a dragon.
Yeah. Second on Dragon.
So I can
Whoa!
hello.
What?
Are you alright?
It is Dragon.
Oh jeez. Well, we've created new ideas for Dolphin. So
There you go. This
Alright.
is what this video is about.
this is the ultimate meaning of this video was to inspire Dolphin. Nothing else is gonna come out of this video. Alright, but with that, I think we're gonna end it off on a sort of a shorter, lighter note. Not too much in depth. We might touch upon this maybe another time, but definitely something to consider, especially with I don't really want to. With how much more versatility there is in the game than before, I think it's a good idea to start experimenting with new things here and there. So.
Oh, hold up.
Oh Jesus.
Sure.
Actually, what?
Go.
Never mind. Forget.
What do you mean?
Another.
Never mind?
No, I'm gonna speak now. Another upcoming deck. I think was it Derek who ran this, but Winds of Nahord and then Eye of Flame,
Oh God.
Molten Pillar, and like all that.
Eye is the most OP thing ever. Especially,
boy.
you just gotta use 3 foil Eye of Flames. Just your opponent immediately concedes.
Yeah.
3.
Yep. Just
am I
flash
saying,
them with
4?
my 2 shiny eyeballs.
There you go.
I'm still surprised that I actually have like. I think one of my only shiny legendaries is 2 Eye of Flames.
They're good luck cards.
Shard value, baby.
But yeah,
I
I think
got
that's a
it.
cool upcoming thing.
Interesting. Sort of a wind-based pillar molten deck.
That seems interesting.
Mhm.
And I think it was Tab who ran it. I might be wrong though.
The owner will take credit in the comment section. That's how this
Yeah.
works, right?
Yeah, I just know Tab has always been like, I am Flame, best card ever.
He's not
So-
wrong. He's not wrong. All right, so I think with that, again, ending it off on a lighter, sweeter note. Yeah, I think that's gonna wrap it up. All right, guys. And with that being said, we hope you enjoyed this second edition of a discussion video. It might be a little longer than the last one, but again, hope you guys did enjoy it overall. We definitely want to bring more of this to you guys. And remember, leave those comments down below if you want maybe a chance to interact with the show a bit more, have your thoughts read aloud on videos, because we definitely want to see if we can take some feedback from the audience, or maybe if you want to drop us additional topics you want us to talk about. Again, leave them in the comment section below. We'll be sure to watch them and hopefully get some ideas about what you guys want to hear more about. So with that being said, if you guys haven't already done so, be sure to hit that like button, share with your friends, and like I said, comment down below. And while you're down there, if you haven't done so already, be sure to hit that subscribe button. Join the channel, help us grow the channel by clicking the subscribe button. I know it's supposed to. I don't know why I'm pointing at the camera so much, but I'm doing it anyway. So with that, Dolphin, baseball, any kind of last words for our fans, for our viewers?
Nope, not
Nope.
really.
Alrighty.
Nope,
Dolphin.
not really.
Yeah, you can tell the sarcasm in that. You can just
Yes.
eat the sarcasm right out of that word. All right, guys. So for Dolphin, baseball, and myself, until next time, guys. Stay
Don't
gaming.
stop gaming.
Dolphin, you gonna?
Are you still recording?
Not anymore.